So for my today's class, I have chosen the second half of the third unit from the CBSE Class 10 textbook. Already I have shared a video for the first lesson, that is his first flight. So as I have told you earlier, so both of these stories are about flying in the sky. Here too, in this story also, the narrator is piloting his old Dakota aeroplane. So during that, he encountered a strange experience. So in this lesson, we are going to read what is that strange experience happened to him. That's what we are going to see in the lesson. Okay, so let me start the first paragraph here, and for our convenience, for the technical convenience, here too this lesson also is going to be split into two parts. So here in this video, the first half of the lesson will be explained and the second half will be in the next video. So let me start here. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. So here the narrator, that is the writer himself is the narrator here, and the moon was coming up in the east behind me. That shows he was traveling towards west. So behind him, behind the narrator, the moon was coming up in the east. That shows the duration, that is the timing is the midnight time. And the stars were shining in the clear sky above me. So above him, the stars were shining brightly. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone, high up above the sleeping countryside. So just above him, there were stars shining brightly, and below him was the sleeping countryside, that is the villages of France. So he was just above those countryside, and the sleeping countryside here refers to the people of that region was sleeping. As it was night time, almost all the people in that region were sleeping at that time. So he was alone up in the sky, and he felt very happy about it. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. So he was flying from France towards England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. So he was dreaming of his holiday. So he was returning to England to spend his vacation with his family. So he was dreaming very high of spending his holidays with his family. So with that excitement and happy mood, he was now on his flight. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. So that the timing is the midnight time, 1:30, and he was flying above the countryside of France, and the mood was very happy for him because he was looking forward to being with his family members, to spend valuable time with his family members. I should call Paris control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. So very quickly he reached Paris, the city airport of Paris, and so as he noticed the lights, city lights, so he thought he has to call the control room of Paris airport. I switched on the radio and said, Paris control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I'm on my way to England, over. So he was passing a message to the control room, and I informed them that he is likely to fly towards England. So he informed that information. He passed on the information to the control room in Paris. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS088 over. So the reply came immediately that he has to turn 12 degrees towards west to fly towards England. So the direction is given from the control room, and so that he can turn his flight for another 12 more degrees towards west, so that he can fly towards his destination, that is England. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. So as instructed, he turned the flight nearly 12 degrees, and he even checked the map and also the compass, and so seeing the distance, he just switched over to my second and last fuel tank. That was the last fuel tank which is available for him to fly. So the first one is already over, the fuel tank is almost emptied, so he now switched on the second one, that is the last fuel tank. So before emptying of this second one, the last one, he has to reach his destination. I will be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So he thought that as it was very smooth and it was an easy flight with no interruption, with no more further disturbances in the sky, as the sky is very clear, he thought that it is going to be an easy flight for him to reach England. So if it is very smooth, if it is very easy, and when there is no traffic, here traffic in the sense not the road traffic but the air traffic. So he thought that he will reach his destination, he will reach England for his breakfast, that is in the morning time itself, he can reach, he thought. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds, storm clouds. So he crossed Paris for almost 150 kilometers. From Paris, he reached almost 150 kilometers distance. So at that time, he saw the clouds, that is the storm clouds. Those were not an ordinary cloud, the big mountains of clouds. The storm clouds are very powerful and strong, even during the heavy rainfall, heavy downpour, we can see the clouds coming together like mountains, the black mountains, and even when there is a clash between the clouds, we get the lightning. So thunder, everything happens there, and it is not a suitable weather condition for a flight to fly in the sky. So it is highly dangerous to pass through those clouds. So he was going to face these storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. So as a pilot, he knew very well he should not get into those clouds. He should not pass them directly. Also, it is not a good idea to just go above those clouds also, because during thunder or anything happens, so it is going to be very dangerous for him. The flight may get collapsed and there is a chance of losing his life in an accident there itself. So it is not a good idea to pass through the clouds now. So what is going to be the next option? Either he has to fly towards south or north to go around those clouds. But another problem that he has another problem here, that is the fuel. He has to consider the fuel also, because he is now using the last fuel tank. So if he takes extra distance, extra miles in the sky, he cannot reach his place before the emptying of the last fuel tank. So he has no other choice, but he has to get back to Paris. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought. but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. See, here the pilot, that is the narrator, by all means he wanted to reach his place for his breakfast, because he was very eager to taste that English breakfast after a long time. Maybe he might have spent many days of time out of his place, out of his home, or like away from his family members. So he wanted to have his usual English breakfast. I think he might be missing that sort of breakfast for so many days. So he was barely in need of reaching his home to enjoy that morning breakfast. So I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. So he decided to take the risk. By all means, he wanted to pass those clouds by getting into them. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. So as he reached into the black clouds, the mountains of clouds, everything turned into black. He couldn't see anything outside of his aeroplane because everything seemed to be black. So the old aeroplane jumped and twisted. So now the aeroplane was not in a condition to pass through gently because of the heavy nature of the clouds. It was unable to fly smooth. So it started to roll, twist and jump. I looked at the compass. Here the narrator, the pilot, looked at the compass. He couldn't believe his own eyes. What happened? The compass was turning round and round and round. So the compass was not showing any proper direction. It was rounding continuously round and round. So he was confused and he thought that this is going to be a dangerous sign. It was dead. Finally, after rotating continuously, the compass was completely dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. So not only the compass, but also now one by one, the other instruments also started going dead. Everything stopped its function suddenly. I tried the radio. Even he tried the radio also to pass the information to the control room. He couldn't contact any of the control room. Paris control, Paris control. Can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. So inside the clouds, so everything was black. Now he couldn't contact anyone because the radio and the other important instruments, including the compass, was dead. Everything stopped its functioning. Then, in the black clouds, quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It was a strange thing for him actually. He was able to see a black aeroplane inside the clouds. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. So, along with the storm of clouds, inside the storm, as the clouds were the clouds surrounded the flight, now he was unable to see anything. But there, even in the black clouds, he was able to see another aeroplane following him. Behind him, there was another aeroplane, and that aeroplane has no lights on its wings. So anyway, he was able to see the flight, and I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. He felt that the pilot of that aeroplane turned towards him, the narrator. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. So for this narrator, it is a bit of relief for him, because during that dangerous condition, he was able to see another man there. In that deadly situation also, he was able to find another man waving at him, waving his hands at him. So that gave a bit of relief to him. Follow me, he was saying, follow me. He knows that I am lost, I thought. He is trying to help me. So the gestures and the other expressions of that pilot seems to be like he is trying to help the narrator. As he was instructing him to follow him, the pilot of that black aeroplane seems to understand that the narrator lost his way. and so he was trying to help him by giving the gestures to follow him. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. So he turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. So that black aeroplane, the pilot of that aeroplane moved his flight towards north so that it would be convenient for the narrator to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. So he has here, the narrator has no other idea except following that aeroplane. So like an obedient child, he has decided to follow that black aeroplane. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. So even after half an hour of continuous travel there, he was able to find that strange black aeroplane right in front of him in the clouds. Now there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 to 10 minutes more. So now the time, that is the final timing for the emptying of fuel has reached. So he thought that he could fly for another 5 to 10 minutes only. I started to feel frightened again. I was starting to feel frightened again. So here at this moment, now the narrator started to feel frightened because at any moment the fuel tank may go empty, and so he started to feel frightened. But then he started to go down, and I followed through the storm. So anyway, he has no other choice. He followed the strange black aeroplane continuously, even in the midst of the storm. Suddenly I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. Suddenly, after this continuous following of half an hour, suddenly he felt like he came out of the black clouds. And as he came out of those clouds, there was two straight lines right in front of his aeroplane. It was a runway, an airport. He couldn't believe his own eyes. He was literally very shocked because soon after his coming out of the clouds, he realized that he is going to land on the runways of an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. So here, he thought that he landed safely. He reached an airport safely. So he was very eager to give a handshake to his friend who saved him, who asked him to follow him. So he was a bit eager to meet his friend who saved him from danger.